Module 2, Lesson 21's objective is to estimate sums and differences of measurements by rounding, and then solve mixed word problems. Item 1. There are 153 milliliters of juice in one carton. A 3-pack of juice boxes contains a total of 459 milliliters. A. Estimate and then find the total amount of juice in one carton and a 3-pack of juice boxes. In order to solve this problem, I should underline the important details. 150 milliliters of juice in one carton, and a 3-pack of juice boxes contains a total of 459 milliliters. I will circle the word estimate to remind me to do that, and then I will circle then find the total amount to remind me to do that. And then I will highlight the whole thing, estimate, and then find the total amount of juice in one carton and a 3-pack of juice boxes. So first I will estimate, since that's what I circled first. Since there's 153 milliliters of juice in one carton, I will use a vertical number line to estimate or round the number of 153 milliliters to the nearest 10. When counting by tens, I know that 153 comes between the numbers 150 and 160. The halfway mark is 155. When plotting the number 153 on the vertical number line, it would fall about here. Looking at the vertical number line, it's easy to see the 153 rounds to 150. Now I will do the same for the number 459. When counting by tens, I know that 459 comes between the numbers 450 and 460, with a halfway mark at 455. Again, I will plot the number 459. That will be right here. Again, it's easy to see that the number 459 rounds to 460 when rounding by tens. Now I will put a lowercase m and a capital L next to each of these numbers to remind myself the unit of measurement is milliliters. Since I am supposed to find the total amount of juice, I will add. You can figure out the answer now yourself. Finish the algorithm, label the unit of measurement, and record your answers. I wrote it vertically like this, but then when you record your answers, don't forget to write them on the line like this. The lines are kind of short, so you may need to write extra small, but make sure your teacher can read it. Now the second equation that is written there for you is the equation that uses the exact, precise numbers. So I'll draw a line here and use those exact, precise numbers to find the total amount of juice in both cartons. Both kinds of cartons. Again, since we're finding the total, I'll add. Well, 3 and 9 is 12, and 12 is written like this. A 2 in the ones column, and a 1 in the tens column. 5 and 5 is 10, and 1 more is 11. 11 is written with a 1 and another 1. 4 and 1 is 5, and another 1 is 6. By carrying the other number into the other column down below where the line is, it's easier not to not to forget to add it. Now, put your numbers over here on the line, just like we did in the first part of the problem. Item B is done the very same way. This time, they're using the numbers to find the difference between the amount in 1 carton and 3-pack of juice boxes. When you're finding the difference, remember you're comparing one thing to another and you use subtraction instead. And as you can see in the typed version of this worksheet, there is a typographical error, so you change this to be a subtraction sign. First, estimate to the nearest tens like I did in item A using a vertical number line, then write your algorithm just like we did and figure out the answers. For the second part of the problem, find the precise difference between the amounts in both kinds of juice boxes and then write it on the second line. And for item C, are your answers reasonable and why? If the answers are close to one another, the answers between your estimate and your precise answer, then they are reasonable. But if they are not close, then you need to redo the calculations in your algorithms. Question 2. Mr. Williams owns gas stations. He sells 367 liters of gas in the morning, 300 liters of gas in the afternoon, and 219 liters of gas in the evening. Item A, estimate and then find the total amount of gas he sells in one day. Again, underline the important information. 367 liters of gasoline in the morning, 300 liters of gasoline in the afternoon, 219 liters of gas in the evening. Circle the important word estimate, and then find the total amount. Those are two sets of important pieces of information or directions that must be followed. You could even highlight that if you wanted to. So if I'm going to estimate the numbers 367, 300, and 219, each one of those numbers will get a vertical number line. For 367, I want to round to the nearest 10. I know that that comes between the numbers 360 and 370 with a halfway point of 365. Then I plot the number 367 on the number line and see that it is closest to 370. Then I write it down. I will do the same for the numbers 300. When counting by tens, I know that 300 comes between 300 and 310 with a halfway mark of 305. When plotting the number on the number line, that's a simple one. It's 300, and I write it right down here. Now the last one is 219. I'll draw it over here. When counting by tens, I know 219 comes between 210 and 220 with a halfway mark of 215. I plot my number, 219, and I see it comes closest to 220. Now I have all my numbers estimated, just like the directions tell me. I'll put a capital L next to each one to stand for liters, and to find the total amount of gas I must add. Now you add them up, include your capital L, and then write down he sells about blank liters of gas in one day. Now it says to find the total amount of gas he sells in one day. Now you will use the exact numbers, just like we did above. So you use 367, 300, and 219. You write it down, you add it up to come to the total of actual number of liters, and then you write it down on the space provided. He sells blank liters of gas in one day. If there's not enough room for all of this, make sure you show your work on a piece of scratch paper and attach it to the homework sheet. Item B, estimate and then find the difference between the amount of gas Mr. Williams sells in the morning and the amount he sells in the evening. I'm going to underline those important pieces of direction again. First, I circle the word estimate. That's the first thing that I'm going to do, and then find the difference. Okay, and I'm going to underline in the morning and in the evening. So in the morning we have the number 367, and in the evening we have 219. You make vertical number lines and estimate or round them to the nearest 10 is always the number that you'll get that'll be closest. Then figure out the difference, and when we say difference, remember that's the answer to a subtraction problem. And subtract the two numbers from each other to find the difference that he sells in the morning compared to the evening. Then create another algorithm with the exact numbers being used to find out the actual difference. Don't forget to answer in words, just like I did on item 2A.